I feel like this video should start off with ominous music, dun, because I'm going to talk about what happens if you get rid of something when you're decluttering that you decide you need later. What do you do? This is really huge, and the reason I talk about ominous music is because it's one of the major reasons that holds people back from decluttering. What happens if I get rid of something that I need? Well, I cannot possibly cover every single thing that you might give away and that you might need later, but let's talk about it generally so I can maybe help alleviate some of those fears. I have been a professional organizer. My name is Margaret. I have been doing it for over 20 years. I now work virtually so I can help people all over the United States get it done, but also educate to what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how to keep the clutter from coming back. So let's jump into it. When you're looking to get rid of something, sometimes we make the thing a bigger deal in our heads than it really is. So that's when you might apply the 20-20 rule. The 20-20 rule is if I can replace it in 20 minutes or less for $20 or less, I'm pretty safe letting it go. Do I want to have to go out and rebuy something for $15 that I just threw away 6 months ago? No, not really. But you know what? The cost of holding on to things is very real. It means that it's harder to find things, there's more stress in your life, you may lose things that have more value. So holding on to stuff is not free. Go ahead and let it go. I will say that, golly, out of 100 times, the times that I've heard a client say, oh man, I shouldn't have thrown that away, might be 2 or 3 times. It is really, really minimal. Probably 2 times. So 20-20 rule. Another thing is, okay, let's say you let something go and let's make this a tool, because a lot of times that's one of the things that people are just like, I might need it later. You know what? You can borrow and oftentimes rent tools. So a neighbor, somebody at church or another organization that you're part of. You can, especially if it's a bigger tool, rent it from Home Depot or Lowe's. You're not without that tool. It's not like you can never ever fix the thing. So consider borrowing. We have really gotten as a society that we're very independent. We're very insular. That we have to be able to do it ourselves. But you don't. You have people in your life, and you can reach out to them. I want to share another story because this is a story that has kind of a neat twist to it. I got a response reviewer, and she said that when they got to the point where their 3 kids had left the home, the kids had their own houses, they were established, and mom says to the kids, I've got the stuff I saved for you, what do you want? And the kids were like, no, we don't want any of it. They had these books that were special to, no, we don't want any of it. Mom let them go. A number of years later, I don't know if it was all the kids, but at least one of the kids came back and said, I would really, really like to have that hardback set of the books of Narnia, Chronicles of Narnia. Do you still have that? Mom said, no, I gave it away because you said you didn't want it. And everybody felt really badly because this had been a series of books that they had read as a family. It was kind of special to them. So the daughter spent 4 years. Now keep in mind, the Chronicles of Narnia are cool. They're not life and death. So daughter spent 4 years looking for a similar set. She found one. It was actually in somewhat better condition than the one they had let go. She bought it, gave it to mom and dad as a Christmas gift, and the family has just been loving those books. So you might have thought, well, gosh, then that's a story where you shouldn't give away things. They wanted those books. No, they actually ended up having more fun because of the thoughtfulness of the daughter and the stories that she had in trying to track down this set, the surprise to mom and dad. It actually became sweeter in the end because of the story behind it. Not the worst thing. And go ahead, call me insensitive. I'm just going to throw out there, stuff is stuff. If you let it go, it is not life and death. You are still here. You are what's important. You and the people in your life, not that stuff. So you can let it go. You can be at peace. Most of the time, you're not going to want it, think about it, or miss it. But if you do, you're still here and you're the one that's important. I hope that helps a little bit to let go of some of those things and feel like, yeah, you can do that.